Here we are again. This is our 5th attempt of creating Rotary history, and we are ready to start talking about these gentlemen's experiences in Rotary. I'm joined by my good old friend here, Jess Reid, and Jim Lee, and Hans Fuegi, who have been in the club 45 years.
Dean always rubs that in. I wasn't a founding guy. I was a month and a half late.
The club's been in existence for 46 years.
You're the second president, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We had a great session with Jerry House, who started the Rotary Club. Who would like to start? You would.
1995 or 96, when I was president, Linda Singer was past president, and Allison Chow was president-elect. The club was smaller than it is now, and you knew everybody. When it was time for the installation banquet, these pictures were taken of me at the original Golden Horse banquet. We had a great evening. Rick Klein and 4 other guys that were in their 20s, we formed the Park City Men's Coalition. They stopped having Miners' Day Parade and 4th of July Parade, and so we restarted them. And Peggy Fletcher, she reminded me we didn't start them, we just restarted them. She brought me pictures of the old ones in the 1950s to my office, and really great woman. Anyhow, we started doing the Miners' Day Parade, which we're still doing today, and announced it with Blair Fulner at KPCW. Blair and I had set up on the flat roof of the memorial building. We had a table set up, full bar, Bloody Marys, and the new police chief climbed through the window. They had just passed a law that said you can't have open containers. The new police chief was Frank Bell. Good guy. He didn't seem to care. Thank God, or we'd be in jail. We did the Miners' Day and broadcast the most boring broadcast in the world on KPCW because the parade was so tiny. And we did the same thing with the 4th of July on Jerry's deck to do the announcing. But then he got pissy and we went to other decks. And the last Miners' Day, Bob Richer and Miles Redman and I announced it, and it was from Miles's building that he owns. Berkshire Hathaway has a commercial office up there. Well, Dean Barrett and I had been involved heavily with the Huntsman Cancer Institute, and they had an event at the University of Utah where they'd roll tennis balls down the hill, and you buy a numbered ball, and it was doing pretty good, so we talked to them. The club thought I was crazy right at first, but they said...
What do you mean right at first?
And anyhow, and we said, okay, Huntsman will work with us, but we have to donate half the proceeds from the running of the balls to the Huntsman. We did it, and it was great. Huntsman had all the balls pre-numbered and everything.
As you'll recall, Jess, when those balls came down, they bounced.
Oh, big time, yes.
Big time. Out of the chute. Out of the chute.
Oh, worse than they do now.
Yeah.
Well, then the club, led by Christina Miller, and her husband, Trevor, who's an inventor, who made a bunch of money inventing warm showers for the military out in the field. He figured out this big, huge 2-story thing, and they changed from tennis balls to golf balls. And we kept all the money, which is quite a bit now, 35,000 or more.
100,000 now.
100,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Lord help us.
Yeah.
And they did a great job, and Miles Redman and I and Bob Richer kept announcing the parade. That's kind of a little Miners' Day background.
Well, I remember with the Miners' Day, a former member of our club, Dave Johnson, and I ran it for 5 years, around the turn of the century. And what a different experience it was, because our club had to handle everything. Hans did all the food. That was major. and we did all the beverages.
Drink beer and we got busted by the
You
staff.
weren't allowed to give beer away or drink it yourself.
That's right, that's right. Hans would know it well, having been a member of that board. But when we ran the parade, we did before the balls. Our whole profit was based on the food and beverage sale. So we were trying to sell as much beer as we could. And a good year would be $5,000 profit.
And we cooked everything.
Yeah.
Thanks to
Yeah.
Hans.
Yeah. I took it over when Merlin Jacobson was the plumber. He did the food before. And I had just joined Rotary and I watched this. Oh, we got to poison some people.
Yeah.
Keep this up.
I used to try to sell hot dogs at a foot of meat and all the mustard you can eat.
I said, why don't I do that?
I'll continue with the Miners' Day. During our tenure of running it, that 5 years, one of those years, it rained.
It rained, I remember that.
That was disaster.
I had hundreds and hundreds of bratwurst and bread.
I remember looking out at the park, and there was nobody there.
And Gavi smelled like hamburgers and bratwurst
Yeah, for a week
afterwards.
after. Close to that time, I created Rotary Apron because everybody was cooking.
I'd come down to the park, and I would streamline the beer to all the cooking area and keep them happy. But it
was
really,
hands-on service.
it brought the club so together because everybody
Exactly.
was working hard but having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
great.
And then we had the beer garden.
Yeah.
But before that, you could just go
Yeah,
get
you
one
just
and
gotta
drink.
grab one.
but
Yeah.
that one year it rained. What did you do with all that food that we
Oh,
never
you know,
cooked?
We probably made bratwurst soup or
But
something.
I think we used to take some of it to the Peace House right
Wasted
away.
it, but it certainly wasn't a profitable year. We did it, what, for 10 years or so? Then the food trucks came and
The state and laws and beer
And
gardens.
now
and
the
all this.
focus from all that manual labor has gone into selling the balls, which is the profit,
yeah.
which is great.
It was a lot of fun when we did
Yeah.
it, and certainly
It
no
was.
regrets doing it, that's for sure.
That's been one of the themes of all the previous get-togethers we've had, that how close Rotary was and how tight a bond we all had. We knew each other's kids and what was happening in our lives, great detail.
I ended up doing Rotary lunches at the grub steak after the year. The food quality started slipping. The then president asked me, couldn't you host the grub steak? And I'll give it a shot. The budget then was like $10 or $12 a lunch. No, this was not a big profit. I think we had 50 members then. It was relatively easy to feed those, and that was a good run.
It seems before we moved to your restaurant, there was 40 members for a long time. It seemed like decades. There were 40, and hence how well we knew one another.
I remember my wife
You
back
mean your
then.
Rotary Ann?
Yeah, excuse me, Rotary Ann. I remember she actually liked coming up there and being with the other Rotarians and their wives and everything.
Well, there never really was a big push to add to the membership.
You're
Well,
right.
remember, we had classifications, so we could
Oh.
only have two of any one
Huge,
particular,
yeah.
one particular.
And how many realtors did we have?
That was a big concern that
Yeah.
would become a realtor club. I was just talking to Andy Bernhard. I proposed him for membership, and it took me 6 months to get him approved. And he was the publisher of the Park Record.
Well, we got very creative with realtors, so if.
Yes, we did.
There's a
Very
realtor that would
creative.
only sell houses on the left side of the street. or something like that.
The other one was lawyers. I proposed Gordon Strawn right after the Nixon crisis, and I barely got him through.
It seems like we've almost evolved now to nonprofits.
Yeah, at Grub Steak, every time we turned around, there was a nonprofit being our speaker and hitting us for money. But Bob Ziegler said, we've got money in the account, and we created a trust account and so we could start donating easier and get a benefit out of it instead of being taxed for it.
Yeah, Ziggy, boy, I haven't seen Ziggy around. Is he still around?
They were in the San Diego area. They were staying a few months out of the year at the Coronado Towers.
Yeah, Ziggy, that was a
Well, he was the one that he had a connection to bring women into the club.
I
He's
think
not
that
happy
was
with
the
that.
greatest change in Rotary that, in our tenure, that we've seen, adding women, because it's hard to imagine without women now. We all celebrated.
What was interesting about that too is And I tell this, the young women and the older ones, they're taking over everything. I mean that as a compliment. In the Interact Club, which I did for 16 years, the girls were the primary members. We had boys in there, but
It's the same today. One guy and about 15
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
something like that. I had my 3 boys, and one tried to be an Interact, but football took up their whole life.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
But anyhow, a nice benefit for me is some of the kids from Interact many years ago, I'm still in touch with, and we're still friends.
I remember one other funny thing that happened roughly right when women came into the club. We had to ban smoking.
Oh, I didn't remember
I don't
that.
remember that.
And it was because of Wally Buchanan.
Oh, yeah, Wally.
Do we smoked at lunch?
Yeah.
We used to pick on Walt.
Yeah, Wally used to fly Rotary donations down to the islands of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess he smoked all the way down there.
Oh,
in his
yeah.
airplane.
Oh my gosh. He smoked like a
Oh, he
chimney.
was, boy, Wally was very dedicated.
We picked on Wally like crazy.
When he was president, it was out of control.
The other one was Vic Ayers,
Yeah.
the Admiral.
Admiral.
That's when
Ross Perot and the running mate was,
an Admiral.
he looked like Vic.
Vic acted like the Admiral. One of his political ads was, "Who am I? What am I doing here?" Vic Ayers
Yeah.
was.
Only real estate.
There was probably 50 realtors in town, and that was it.
It was 30 back when I was full-time in the business. There was Harry Reid,
In Strawberry.
Skyline Realty,
Yeah.
and Strawberry started.
Mountain Realty.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it was crazy. Oh, and Captain Morris McComb.
Yeah.
Rod Morris. Was he ever
You're
a
out-
Rotarian?
Right, he was for a while.
He was?
Yeah, way early.
Wow.
He didn't stand for very long.
Yeah, Rod was a character.
Yeah. He never made the meeting, so he was asked to leave.
That was also what we did with Dick Wild, and it really pissed him off.
Remember
You know,
who-
Silver King
So
Bank.
And who else was Lou Hudson?
Oh, yeah.
He never
Lou.
showed up.
Oh, and then there was that woman that came into town. She started a coffee shop on Main Street, and she'd been president of the Rotary Club in Southern California. And right away, she got into a fight with the city and sued the city and Brad Old. And I was president then. Brad said, "If you bring her in, I'm out." I had to have lunch with her and tell her, "You're not accepted." And that was not easy. She was a lawyer, too.
So, talking about Memorial Building, remember when we had the Rotary Basketball Club?
We played at the Memorial Building.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all in our
yeah.
30s.
Yeah. When I first joined, we had a football game at the park,
Yeah.
and it was flag football. And the next day, everyone was too bruised and beat up to show up for anything.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
we just
Well,
beat
and
each
then
other
we had a
up.
basketball game. And I'll never forget, they, not just Lou Hudson, but they brought Bill Hart, local contractor,
6'5".
big hulking guy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
oh my God, I about threw up trying to keep up with the game.
I got a little out of hand at that point. We had ringers coming in instead. Just amongst ourselves, it was pretty tame, but, oh, I'm going to bring so-and-so.
What about when we got the morning Rotary Club going? Let's have a softball game.
It was the classic.
And then Greg Scherf got in a fight.
I was in center field, and I could just see it in the distance. The ball was hit in the outfield, the center field, and the guy rounds third and goes in, and Greg's playing catcher, and they
Collide.
collide. Greg comes out of it blowing fists, and just everybody converges. You know, this is a Rotary event.
It's something about bonding with friends.
You guys remember when Jake Garn would come to meetings
Yeah.
all the time. He was our United States Senator, and he was getting in really good shape so he could go in outer space. I think about that time too, he did a kidney transplant with one of his daughter-in-laws, but we not only cut his tie several times, Jake would come play softball with us, and I'm out in center field, and the ball gets hit out there, and I hear Jake going crazy to get the ball. And then when he was up to bat, we threw him a grapefruit that he hit. He was a good sport, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake was a great guy.
Wouldn't happen today.
We're all too old.
Who was the jazz coach, Frank Layton, that came to one
Yeah,
of our
Frank
meetings?
Layton, yeah. And
He got up, and it was one-liner after one-liner for the entire presentation. And Diane Zimney sat there and just gave him the stink eye the whole time. Diane was a black and white, hot and cold person.
Frank talked to us, and we were all griping about how much tickets cost. That was a big deal to go to jazz games.
Yeah.
I remember putting up signs on the Reid building, show me the money, get it done. Frank Layton predicted the future perfectly. He said, pretty soon, these sports, they won't be like that anymore. It'll just be so expensive, and it'll all be almost totally corporate owned. And I believe that's what's happened.
Oh, yeah. It's billion-dollar clubs now.
I mean, you could buy NFL tickets like $700 for a seat. Just
It's ridiculous.
It's terrible.
Things change, not just at Rotary. I was never
I thought you were-
president. No, I was busy running a couple restaurants, some of them in-state, some of them out of state. I was on the restaurant board, I was on the Office of Tourism Board, and
Yeah, you were on too
I
many
just-
boards.
You didn't
I
have
was
time.
bored. I mainly served on the Huntsman, and fortunately, liquor laws changed for the better because of the Olympics. Huntsman is not so LDS that he didn't know what it would mean if you really enforced the laws during the games. So a lot of good actually came out as far as liquor laws concerned. A lot of
Yeah,
good
I
came
like
out
John
of-
Huntsman
yeah.
for that. I served for 6 years on the travel council
Travel
back
Council,
then.
that's
And
Youth Office of Tourism.
we had to dress up, and every month minimum, we had to be in a different area of the state to have our board meetings.
Yeah, same for us. Yeah, we traveled a fair amount. I
I
flew
learned-
by airplane quite a bit for that. So
I learned my way around Utah better than I'm around Alabama.
yeah, we obviously went to a lot of the national parks. And we had meetings in Park City. We had meetings in Southern Utah. I remember I got into Rotary because of Joan Calder. Joni was the president of the Park City Chamber.
Yeah,
Chamber Bureau.
Yeah, Chamber
for a
Bureau.
long time.
I sat on her board, and she kept bugging me about joining Rotary, and I had gone up to Alaska to look at the restaurant up there. The realtor there invited me to a Rotary meeting. Here I was, I had no clue what it was. I barely knew what Rotary was. And the next thing you know, we're standing up, and allegiance to the flag, and prayer,
Oh,
and the singing, and
Yeah.
I'm just standing at the
All the things that we didn't do.
And Joni told me, you know, you really should join the Rotary Club. I said, you're out of your mind. That's not me. No way. She said, come to a meeting and you'll see how much of a fun club this really is. He took me 1 or 2 meetings, and yeah, I can do that category to fit in, you know.
we classified you as a server.
It's funny how we all have our reasons of why we joined Rotary and how we joined Rotary. That was my story.
I have been to other Rotary clubs where singing was part of the.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
And I remember whenever it was years ago, the last time we sang, everyone said, never again.
Yeah.
And we're holding to.
Well, it was praying and Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
Mike Martin's father, Bill Martin, was a general, and he got really mad and got up and lectured us all about not doing the Pledge of Allegiance
No
and
kidding.
everything. Oh, yeah.
Well,
and
I think I missed that.
Bob Wells created the Convention and Visitors Bureau so we could do transient room tax, and got me to be on the board when we first started it. Then he goes, well, Jess, I think we should merge with the chamber. And we did, and it really upset Amanda Peterson.
and
And
then it was Bill Malone right after. I remember you had a rough go with Bill Klinger.
Bill Klinger.
I had to come back and be the chairman the second time and fire with Bill. And that was when you would go to the county commission meetings in Colville.
Looking at Mary Leamer.
Mary Lehmer was crazy, and we elected a mayor, guy named John Price,
Oh, yeah.
and he had made a fortune
Builder.
in surfboards.
Yeah.
And she drove him so crazy that after a year and a half, he quit.
Yeah, he left. Went
Oh,
uptown. Yeah.
So he came back and ended up building Chatham Crossing. It was the first nice condos before Fairway Village.
When they built those, 1981, I was a listing agent, and every developer came in because Deer Valley just opened, and they'd secured their land and they were preparing their plans. And to a person, every one of them said, wow, this is really nice, but ours will be better. They were so confident in
Yeah.
themselves and their product that hadn't even been built yet.
I remember Vic Ayers got involved in so many projects in Snow Park, and I was over all that for Vic. We're at a meeting, and developers were freaking out because everything was getting foreclosed,
Right.
and they were yelling at Edgar Stern. We were selling them at 15 to 18% fixed rate interest in Deer Valley.
We've all lived through some pretty rough times. That was one of the great things about the Rotary Club, is we were all in it together.
You didn't really have much of a choice. You're either going to make it or not. I remember being in restaurant business, and you made your money from December 15 to March 31st. The rest of the year, if you broke even, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were fighting to get people here.
Yeah.
The ski resorts gave away ski passes if you showed them a boarding pass to get people here. A whole different mindset. I think that's part of the reason Rotary was tied a group.
Every
close to
business
going
was suffering.
When I first came here, population was 1,100, and Main Street was boarded up.
It was.
It's just a different time.